I want to make a quick video on this because on the old Mustangs, the 64 to 73, I was just convinced that basically to get them to drive worth a crap, you just had to do a whole aftermarket front end. But I found out on my 68 over here, there's other brands too, but if you put in adjustable Global West strut rods, which is what I'm doing on this 70 right now, just makes a night and day difference. So then you can, if this car, it also has the Global West upper and lower control arms, which I think adds 3 more degrees of caster. But if you just do the adjustable strut rods and then take it to like a alignment shop that specializes in old cars, they can move the strut rods so where you have about 2 degrees of caster. And on the 68 I did that, and it just drives like a totally different car. Before, on the freeway, would just hunt and wander like crazy, and it was just terrible to drive basically on the freeway. And now it's like barely hunts or wanders at all, and it drives like almost way more like a newer car. So now I'm convinced you don't have to do a whole aftermarket front end, which is nice. And then yeah, on this car, because it also has the control arm, should be able to get to like 5 degrees caster, so it might even drive like a modern car. One thing I wanted to point out is when you're installing these, the strut rod goes through the back there. You pull it through the back, and then you don't want to put the spacer and stuff through the back. So you put the instructions weren't that clear on this, but you put the spacer right there, and then it just sits up in that hole. You make sure it's stuck in the hole, and then you put your big washer lock nut, and then the nut on there on top. So then I gotta pull it through a little more, but just wanted to show you that. And then when you tighten it down, I think instructions say like over 100 foot-pounds, you pull the spacer through, and that locks it in place. And then another thing to note is not on these control arms, because they were already the Global West ones, but on stock control arms like what were on my 68, you have to drill out the control arms for these bigger bolts. Where you see those 2 that are sticking out that I haven't tightened down yet. But yeah, that wasn't a big deal. I think it's better if you have the control arms for that extra caster, but if not, it's still just the strut rods make a big difference. But yeah, I was able to just drill them out with the control arms still on the car. I just had to move my lift around a little bit to get to them. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video on that because just made such a huge difference on my other car. I know I'm going to get a line tomorrow, and I know it's gonna make a huge difference on this one too. Just makes them way more drivable on the freeway.